Shabbat Shalom. So does everybody remember the before times? Back those many months ago, when people could just sort of casually pick up and go on vacation or have a night out somewhere and have all those wonderful opportunities. Does everybody remember that time? I know it seems so long ago. Why? Why do people take a vacation? I don't mean why do they take a break from work. That, I think, is very obvious that people do need, in order to retain their humanity, a break from being a machine within the economy. But fine, you're taking a break from work, you're resting. What possibly would possess you to take on the new struggle, turmoil, and difficulty of going somewhere new? Isn't your sofa good enough? Right? And maybe the sofa's too far. Maybe your bed is good enough. Just stay there for your day off. Stay there for your vacation. Why in the world would people go through all the rigmarole of planning an actual trip somewhere beyond their immediate circle of experience? Why? See new things. Why would I want to see new things? I mean, again, I open my eyes, my eyes are open. I can see the food in front of me. I've got plenty. I can see the house around me. It keeps out the storm. What in the world am I gaining by seeing new things, by experiencing new things, by opening my eyes?
You learn something. You get a different perspective.
You learn something. You get a different perspective. And that makes you a little different, right? All of you are absolutely right that you take this for granted. But I want you to understand how incredibly radical a notion this is. That somehow you are made better by having an experience that you have not yet had, or having an experience you've had before, but having it in a new way. You take it for granted that this transforms you in a positive way, that new, novel, or changed experiences give you something that can only be achieved through having new, novel, and changed experiences. But if you understand that implicitly, it is because your soul was designed to seek this out. After all, that's why your soul is here on vacation from its more eternal occupation of being part of Olam Haba, the world to come. This is the soul's vacation. Not to say that it's its vacation and it doesn't have a job to do. But you have to understand yourself and your place, that you are essentially two different types of entities smushed together here in this world. Right? On the one hand, we are stuff. We are atoms, we are molecules, we are made up of elements. We are held together by all the same universal laws that hold together my talit, that hold together the sun, that hold together the earth, that hold together my body. We are creatures. We are material things. This is something that I think we have been reminded of very acutely over the last few months, as we see that being material means we also break like other material things. That is one of the flaws of being created out of stuff, is stuff breaks. A fancy physical term being entropy, but really it breaks in lots of different ways. And when it breaks within a human body, as we talked about during our very first blessing this morning, the body don't work so well anymore, and that can be a major problem. But we are not only stuff, because we are also the fabric of eternity. We have within us what we colloquially call a soul. And that is crafted from the essence of the non-material world. What often gets referred to as heaven or Shamayim, but it is not just the sky. And certainly no matter how high you go, you're not going to bump into a cloud that has the heavenly fabric of reality there. But that is a place of not stuff. That is a place beyond time, beyond space, beyond shape, form, function. Well, if it is beyond time, and if it is beyond stuff, that sounds ideal. Nothing can break. Right? Because there is no stuff to get broken. There is no time scale for it to wear out or to degrade. You are in a state of perfection perfection for all time. Unchanging perfection. Which is the issue. The soul, left only within the heavenly realm, is no different from the day it was created till the end of all time, which it sits outside of, because it is just static in that space. The soul planted within a body, now you can see the soul on vacation. The soul traveling from its perfect, ideal, but unchanging and static realm of heaven to the dirty, messy, and exceedingly difficult and uncomfortable world here in the physical realm. But just like you will pick yourself up and put yourself through the trouble of going on a vacation because you know the experience will benefit you, even if they lose your luggage, even if the hotel doesn't have your reservation, even if the rain has ruined your picture that you were going to have in a certain beautiful site, you know that you are still better for the experience than having just sat at home in your comfortable, static, boring space. And so too, our soul acquires its experiences. As we saw in the Torah portion, Moses repeats over and over and over again, choose, choose, choose. Make your decisions. Find your path in life. Use the Torah to guide you. Find that direction. You are here only once. And while you are here, there is so much to do. Some of it wrong, a lot of it right. But you have to get up and choose it. You have to get out and do it. And occasionally you're going to make mistakes. And occasionally it's not just that there's going to be a problem with the hotel reservation. Occasionally, while you are here in this trip of our life, you are going to choose badly. You are going to choose not just not to embrace what God has given us, but to head the wrong way, to behave in a mean or petty manner, to be base, to be consumed by different desires that have nothing to do with the worthiness that life offers us. You're going to make these mistakes. Just like a bad experience on your holiday of your own creation, getting into a fight with someone on the plane or some such thing, you then have a choice of what to do with that experience. You can learn from it and say, look, this was wrong of me. I can't believe that I decided to do this, but I did. And now that I have experienced it, I recognize the error of it, and I will not do that again. I'm never going to that restaurant again, you might say, after the second bout of food poisoning. You finally get the message that that is a wrong choice. And then you can cross that off your list. And indeed, this is the process we call tshuva. This is the process of repentance that we have been hopefully focusing on during this whole month of Elul, and which will only intensify on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, as we check last year's itinerary and our behavior during it, to be sure that indeed we use our time as best as we could to maximize the experiences and the encounters in this world which enrich our soul and allow us to take from this journey the most precious of souvenirs, the most precious of memories, the most precious of experiences. And for those things that we haven't done so well, we fix them. Because everything can be transformed from that which was an error and a sin into something which can be to our benefit once we properly reconcile with the error that we made. But alas, eventually the journey will come to an end. Eventually, you have to leave the vacation. Eventually, the soul will be separated from the body at the end of each of our days. And when the soul leaves, it will be different than when it arrived. Something that it can only experience in this journey. And when it leaves, it will take with it not your feet or your hands or your head, but it will take with it all of the experiences of this life. All of the experiences of this life, including the negative ones that you have left unresolved. People often ask me, Rabbi, what is the meaning of punishment in the afterlife? The best way, I think, to understand it is not with lakes of fire or pitchforks or people with long tails and horns. And that is a wonderful cartoon from other cultures. It is getting home from your trip here, unpacking what you have gained from this experience, and realizing in that bright light of God, you blew it. You wasted your vacation. You were there, and you had a chance to do good, to learn, to be kind. You had a chance to taste the glory and beauty of God's creation. And what did you do? You sat around watching junk TV. What did you do? You were mean to your neighbors. What did you do? You kept yourself stupid so you wouldn't have to use the brain that God had blessed you with. You kept yourself away from all of the pleasures that God does permit you, and instead ran after the pleasures that God said don't do. This is what you did on your vacation? This is how you live your life? When you are in the next world, you will no longer be able to pretend that you are okay with that. Your soul will say, I was trying to tell the body the whole time not to do this. I kept saying this doesn't feel right. This isn't the right way. I kept saying we should do more. We should do better. I kept saying there was more to life than just the petty little things that I'm obsessed with. But the body kept refusing to listen. And now you'll feel regret. And the regret of the soul is a greater torment than any physical punishment the body can ever endure. But it is temporary, because once the soul is able to reflect clearly and unhindered by the illusions that it perpetrates in this world, eventually it will recognize the gain that can be seen from those issues. But how much better says our tradition to take care of that before you leave this world? How much better is it to make sure you're not carrying baggage that is unworthy of you into the next life? How much better is it to experience the high holidays each year and the moments of reflection each day, to sort through what it is you are collecting in this world, what it is you are building as part of your soul's legacy from this trip, to ensure that for all eternity you will be able to look through your photo album of life and be filled only with joy and happiness, filled only with a sense of fulfillment, and filled only with the experiences that are unique to this life. As the Torah says, choose life. L'chaim and Shabbat Shalom.